The next morning, arriving at school, I immediately looked around beside Josan after entering the classroom. And there she was. Perhaps due to openly admitting to being interested in her last night, I was feeling strangely conscious of her. As usual, Saijo-san was busy studying. Even while she was concentrating, she looked beautiful. What should I do? I'd like to go over there and talk to her for a bit. Maybe I should just work up the courage and do it. But then again, I don't want to disturb her while she's trying to study. Screw it, I'll just walk over and say hi. If she looks annoyed, then I'll stop right away. Making up my mind, I went over to Saijo-san's desk and timidly cleared my thought. I think that's supposed to say throat, but anyway. Ohayo, Saijo-san. Perhaps absorbed in her studies, Saijo-san didn't immediately look up from her notebook. After a few seconds, however, her gaze slowly lifted and she looked at me curiously. Then, as if finally realizing that it was me who had spoken, she mysteriously averted her eyes.
Ohayo.
She eventually replied, her cheeks slightly flustered. Flustered, yeah, you know. But her eyes soon went back to her notebook and her expression returned to its usual serious demeanor. It seemed as though I was being a bother, so I quietly decided to leave her alone. Although it was just a simple good morning, the fact that Saijo-san had responded to my greeting was already good enough for me. A little while ago, I couldn't have even imagined myself on speaking terms with her after all. At lunch break, I sent a message to our group chat asking when everyone would be able to play 1000 Guns again. Wait. 1000 Guns, is that what that VR game is? Nah. Didn't take long for the others to respond. I know they mentioned it way earlier in the game during the common route. But I forgot. It's been so long. Okay. Finally came Saijo-san's response. Good. She was willing to play with us even though she was busy streaming, huh? Plus, she even wanted to have an entire gaming marathon sometime soon. Of course, it could just be that Saijo-san really wanted to play 1000 Guns. Oh, it is. Okay. I don't remember it being mentioned as a VR game. Even so, it made me incredibly happy to know that she was opening up to us like this. That night, after coming home from work, Eiru and I quickly got ready to play 1000 Guns. Since work had dragged on a little longer than usual today, we were already 5 minutes late to the party. I hope Saijo-san hadn't been waiting too long. After hurriedly putting on my VR goggles, I was ready to go. Ja! Ikuzo! Roger! Launching the game, I navigated my way to the lobby where Saijo-san was waiting for us. Rinka-san called out to me in an annoyed tone, arms folded together. Sorry. This big group of customers came in right before our shift ended, so I ended up having to stay a bit longer to deal with them.
遅刻しそうだって連絡してくれればよかったのに。
Yeah, he should have. I really am sorry, but you know how it is. We're not supposed to use our phones while we're on the job. Plus, I thought I'd be able to make it in time if I ran back home. Since I changed as fast as I could and sprinted back, I didn't really have time to text you. And though I did think about messaging you when I realized I was going to be late, I thought you might not notice anyway if you had your VR goggles on. So I just decided I'd explain what happened after logging in.
なるほど。そういう事情なら仕方ないわね。
Thanks for being understanding. Still, I really do feel bad about all three of us being late. As an apology, I'll do anything you want, as long as it's within my power.
なんでも?
Yeah. So, hopefully you don't order me to come to school naked tomorrow or something. Seriously? That's the first thing that comes to mind?
そんな命令するわけないでしょ。バカじゃないの?
He's a visual novel protagonist, so yes.
でも、そうね。なんでもって言われると迷うわね。私、参戦です。すみません、お待たせしました。ソラさんもまだ来ていないんですね。
No, but he got off work at the same time as us, so he'll probably be here soon.
そうですね。おしゃべりでもして待っていましょうか。ちなみに、お二人でどんな話をしていたんですか?
Nothing really. I was just saying that I'd do anything she wanted. So Rinka-san was trying to decide what to make me do.
ちょっと、そこだけ切り取って話すと、私がサディストみたいじゃない。
Yeah, that did sound kind of bad. White tea raspberry. Gotta love it. Oh, gomenasai.
まったくもう。なんかお二人っていい感じですね。
Yeah, but if you keep saying shit like that, it'll probably go bad.
いっそ付き合っちゃえばいいんじゃないですか?
Again, with the lack of subtlety. Huh? Where the hell did that come from? Perhaps Sailor thought she was helping, but that was way too abrupt, incoherent, and quite possibly counterproductive. Whoa, 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 whoa. We're just friends who have similar hobbies, that's all.
そうよ。変なことを言わないで。一緒に否定するところも仲がいいですね。息がぴったりで新婚夫婦みたいです。
Damn it, Anu!
ごめん、お待たせ。
As I was regretting my decision to tell Aelud about how I felt about Saito-san, Sora finally logged in as well. Good. This is my chance to change the subject. Alright, now that we're all here, let's get started, shall we?
はーい、頑張りましょう。
Oblivious to my annoyance with her, as per usual, Aelud let out a spirited cheer. I'll have to remember to give her a good talking to later. Yeah, but is she gonna maintain it, or is she just gonna go in one ear and out the other? When the four of us first started playing this game together, we had a rather hard time winning matches against other players. It was only natural, of course, since we were new to the game, but things were different now. Excuse me. In addition to having learned the game's mechanics, our teamwork had also dramatically improved. Our overall win rate had also improved, considerably raising our player rankings.
私たち、今日はすごく調子がいいですね。
Adu said happily after our third match of the day. Yeah, I feel like our coordination's gotten noticeably better. I don't think we've come close to losing, even against players who started around the same time as us.
この4人でパーティーを組んで本当に良かったよね。
Thrilled at having won 3 whole matches in a row, we all took turns praising each other's skill. Rinka-san, however, lowered her head in apology.
調子がいいところ申し訳ないんだけど、今日はこれから配信があるからそろそろ離脱するわね。
Ah. Oh yeah, it's already that late, huh? Oh, sorry, we didn't realize.
3人は気にせず続けていいから。
Nah, I think we're all gonna call it a day too.
そうだね。今日はもう終わりにしよっか。私に気を使わなくていいのに。
I think a few of us want to watch Cotton.
気を使っているわけじゃないですよ。このゲームは4人でやるから楽しいんです。
Ah, the power of friendship. She's right. So let's play again next time we're all free.
ありがとう。そういうことを言ってくれる人ってこれまでいなかったから嬉しい。それじゃあ。
After muttering this shyly, Rinka-san hurriedly logged out before any of us could respond. And so... After logging out of 1000 Guns and taking off our VR goggles, we decided to tune into Karin-chan's stream.
ハローウィーチャーです。イエーイ、みんなのかりんちゃんだよ。今日もかりんフェス巻き起こっていくからね。
Sure is cute today, like always.
ですね。
Ada and I stared down at our phones, our eyes glued to the screen. Felt a little strange knowing the girl I'd been playing a game together with just minutes ago is now streaming in front of hundreds of other people. And perhaps it was my imagination, but Karin-chan seemed even more upbeat than usual today.
ねえねえ、みんなちょっと聞いて。
Oh, I wonder.
前に私、サウザンドガンズで野良プレイしているって言ったでしょ。最近クラスの友達もサウザンドガンズに興味があることが分かって4人でチームを組むようになったの。
Ah.
サウザンドガンズは野良でやるのも楽しいけど、家庭パーティーでコンビネーションを磨いていくのもすっごく楽しいね。
Karin-chan sounded absolutely delighted as she told her viewers about these recent developments. Nah, Edu. Those classmates she's talking about.
はい、私たちのことですよね。
I thought so. I never imagined the day would come when I'd hear Karin-chan talking about me in her stream. What about the time you helped her get Kuma-tan? You know? This is unbelievable. A lot of things had happened up until this point, but now I can safely say I'm glad I came across the love note.
俺のキューピッドがポンコツすぎて怖い。
The following night, the 4 of us organized another gaming session to play 1000 Guns together again. Since none of us had any particular plans today, we could keep playing as long as we had the energy. I put on my VR goggles and was about to launch my game, and then I was interrupted by Uta-chan, right? Oh. But just before that, I recalled what happened last night. Oh yeah, I forgot to say this, but I'm gonna need you to not try and hook me up with Saijo-san so openly like you did yesterday.
なんでですか？私の恋愛サポート完璧だったじゃないですか。
I honestly have no idea what makes you say that with such confidence. But teasing her like that was a terrible idea. The fact is, it hadn't helped me get close to her at all.
それはつむぐさんが乗ってきてくれなかったせいですよ。
Probably because he didn't know how to play along. Oh, so now it's my fault?
私が付き合っちゃえばいいんじゃないですかって言った時にそうだなって答えていれば今頃カップルになっていたかもしれないんですから。
Yeah, then immediately have her be creeped out, leave the server, and never talk to us ever again, and then probably block us from her stream. Yeah, right, as if relationships are that simple. Anyway, just promise you won't tease her like that again. My future sex life is on the line, you know.
わかりました。つむぐさんがそんなに嫌がるならもう恋のアシストをしないと誓います。
I never asked you to in the first place. Whatever, let's just log in already. After hearing Love Meal's excited reply, I quickly booted up Thousand Guns. By now, the four of us have significantly improved our game mechanics. We are getting much more used to the game and able to see the bigger picture as well. If everything went as it had last night, we'd be on a huge win streak today too. Or so I thought. As we joined our first match...
Rinka さん、今日は随分ミスが多いね。もしかして体調が優れなかったりする？
Oh boy. Oh boy. We had just finished our third match and returned to the lobby when Sora voiced his concerns aloud. I'd been thinking the same thing. Her performance had been rather lackluster today as she made a mistake after mistake. In all honesty, all three of our losses today had been the direct result of her misplays. However, all these blunders were ones that she'd normally never make. I'd brushed it off as a careless mistake the first time it happened, but after three in a row, even Sora couldn't help but notice. I like how they're referring to each other in the dialogue by their gamer tags, I guess you could say. Rinka-san seemed unsure of how to answer Sora's question. I suppose the kind thing to do here was to bail her out. If you're feeling tired, maybe you should call it a day. There's no need to force yourself to keep playing. That's right. She's probably got in her head what Heiru said last night. Her tone was unconvincing. It was clear that she was hiding something. Well, if you say so. If it wasn't a physical problem, maybe something was worrying her mentally. If something was troubling her, I wish she'd talk to us about it. However, we still weren't close enough that I could ask her about it without prying. Yeah. Besides, it could be something that she can't really talk about with other people. In the end, I decided to simply pretend not to notice anything wrong. Alright, well, let's pick ourselves up and go for one more match. Eh.
私はこれから動画の編集をしなければならないの。だから今日はここまででいいかしら。
Hi. I thought she said she had no other plans tonight, but...
もちろんですよ。かりんちゃんの配信すっごく楽しみにしていますから。ありがとう。編集頑張るから。
Oh, her next stream's not going to be very good either, is it? Rinka-san's response sounded somewhat absent-minded. Something's up with her after all.
それじゃあ僕たちも落ちようか。明日も学園だし。
Yeah, you're right. Looking forward to your next stream too, Karin-chan. Although I wanted to know what was bothering her, That was all I could say for now. It was probably nothing anyway. I'm sure she'll be back to normal by tomorrow. Or at least, that's what I repeated to myself in order to shake off my anxiety. The next day, when I arrived at school and entered the classroom, Saijo-san had already begun studying on her own. And she's probably not going to respond to us if we say hi, or if she does, it's not going to be a very happy response. From a distance, she appeared to be Saijo-san, the Saijo-san as always. I thought she'd been acting somewhat strange last night, but perhaps it was all just a misunderstanding? Feeling a little relieved, I sat down at my desk. However, during modern Japanese class,
それじゃあこの続きを西条さんに読んでもらおうかな。
it's the beginning of the route and it's already happening.
あら？西条さん？
No matter how many times Minakoshi-sensei called her name, she didn't respond. The class began to buzz with whispers.
西条さん？聞こえているかしら？西条さん？
Finally realizing her name was being called, she hurriedly looked down at her textbook.
すみません。教科書120ページ8行目から読んでくれるかしら？わかりました。
Falteringly, Saijo-san began to recite the designated passage aloud. It was an extremely unusual occurrence to see our resident honor students spacing out during class, not paying attention to the lesson. However, Saijo-san's inability to concentrate wasn't only limited to modern Japanese class. Throughout the rest of the day, she would fail to notice teachers calling her name, being unable to answer their questions, and, simply put, make lots of uncharacteristic mistakes. What's more, I would occasionally see her heaving a heavy sigh. Something must have happened after all. That night, although I didn't have work today either, I was having trouble deciding whether or not to invite Saijo-san to play.
つむぐさん、今夜はサウザンドガンズはどうしますか？私はやりたいんですけど、なんだか今日のリンカさんちょっとおかしかったんですよね。
Yeah, I thought so too. And not just a little strange, a lot.
もしかしてリンカさんに何かあったんですかね？
I have no idea. All she did was dodge the topic yesterday. If only there was some way to find out.
こんな時はラブノートの出番ですね。
Well, I guess you don't have any other choice. Flipping open the love note, I wrote down the name Rinka Saijo. Let's see what we can learn.
西条凛花運命度56悩みを聞いてみよう
Okay. Well, at least our fate in this hasn't gone down.
それでコメントは悩みを聞いてみようですか。
Didn't we already do that? She didn't... Yeah. I mean, she clearly didn't want to talk about it yesterday. Could be something that she doesn't want others to know about, so I don't really want to force it out of her.
つむぐさん、次は二人きりの時に に悩みを聞いてみてください。
Weren't you listening to what I just said?
もしかしたら昨日はあの場に私とマスラさんもいたから打ち明けづらかったのかもしれません。
Yep. That might be it.
ラブノートが悩みを聞いてみようと言っているんですから試してみるべきですよ。
I guess you're right. The Love Note's advice hadn't let me down yet. Should be worth following this time as well. Fine. Next time I'm alone with her, I'll try asking her what's wrong. That said, I don't really see us getting many chances to be alone together at school.
慣れるかどうかわからないなんて考えていては困ります。どんな手を使っても二人きりになるんです。
Damn.
つむぐさんならできるはずですよ。リンカさんに元気を出してもらいましょう。
Love Meal grabbed both my hands, squeezing them in encouragement. Love Meal, I didn't know you.
このままリンカさんの調子が悪かったらつむぐさんの大好きなかりんちゃんの活動に支障が出るかもしれませんからね。
Oh, well, that changes everything. We gotta help her. Oh, that's what you meant. Still, she was right. Saijo-san's problems were Karin-chan's problems too.
もしもかりんちゃんが活動休止するようなことがあったら。
I don't even want to imagine it. If it came to that, hundreds of other fans would be devastated as well.
ですよね。だからつむぐさんお願いします。リンカさんの元気を取り戻してください。
Alright. I'll try my best. I decided Love Meal was right. This wasn't just about Karin-chan. After all, I wasn't only worried about her well-being, but Saijo-san's as well. After arriving in class the next morning, I immediately looked towards Saijo-san's desk to see how she was doing. As always, she was busy studying diligently. Appearance-wise, she seemed to be the same as ever. But the love note had told me to lend her an ear to her worries, so there was no doubt something was troubling her. I'd have liked to ask her about it, but I had to be able to talk to her alone somehow. She'd been willing to meet me at Fairy Tale the last time I slipped her that note, but there were too many other people there anyway. With first period over, we had a short break before our next class. After a lot of thought, I decided I'd send her a message on Rhyme inviting her to have lunch with me. It would have been too embarrassing to ask her directly, and I didn't want anyone else overhearing me either. So instead, I picked up my So instead, I picked up my phone and spent 5 minutes composing as natural an invitation as I could manage. If you'd like, want to have lunch on the roof today? That's the best I could come up with after 5 whole minutes? Hey, it's better than nothing. Appalled by my own lack of literary talent, but with our next class about to start, I had no choice but to quickly scan my message for typos before hitting send.
誰と？
I waited anxiously, but Saijo-san's reply soon came. Though she hadn't exactly said okay, she hadn't outright refused either. Even that was enough to make me thrilled. Feeling a little nervous, I began typing my reply. Excuse me. Just you and me. After hitting send, I decided to add a follow-up message just to be safe. If you don't want it to be only us two, I can also try inviting Eilu and Masura. How about it?
佐久間くんと二人だけならいいわよ。
Upon reading her reply, my heart started pounding. She doesn't mind. Does that mean she actually trusts me? Maybe. Naturally, I immediately responded by saying, "Cool, just us two then. Let's meet on the roof at lunch." Since the whole reason I was doing this was to ask Saijo-san about her troubles, it may be shameless for me to think this, but I absolutely could not wait for lunch to arrive. At long last, lunchtime rolled around. As soon as the bell rang, Saijo-san began fiddling with her phone. Hearing my own phone beep, I looked down to see a message from her.
私は購買に行くけど、佐久間くんはどうする？
I quickly replied, saying that I'd go on ahead and wait for her on the rooftop. A moment later, Saijo-san stood up from her seat and threw a brief glance in my direction before heading toward the cafeteria. What the fuck? Oh god, I hate winter. I just looked over at my windowsill and I see a stink bug crawling around. It's probably gonna fly towards me now that I see it. Anyway, for some reason, that whole exchange just now is kind of exciting. It almost felt like we were dating in secret or something. Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves here, bud. With those thoughts in mind, I made my way up toward the roof on my own. Feeling slightly guilty about being so excited about this. I arrived on the rooftop, which was utterly deserted as usual, as though it had been reserved for us. Sitting down on a bench, I waited patiently for Saijo-san to arrive. I brought the bento Uta had made me for lunch today, but I decided not to open it yet. This is nerve-wracking. Would I even be able to get Saijo-san to open up to me? About 5 minutes later, the door to the rooftop opened.
待たせてごめんなさい。
I turned toward the voice to see that it was Saijo-san who had spoken. In her hands was a pastry that she'd apparently bought from the cafeteria. No worries. I'm sorry too for asking you to eat with me like this out of the blue.
謝る必要なんかないわ。
Oh, okay.
私も佐久間くんと話がしたかったし。
Posture check. Huh? Really? After nodding shyly, she looked around the area.
隣いいかしら？
Of course not. As I nodded nervously, Saijo-san lowered herself down beside me. So close! Are we gonna get a CG of this? My immediate reflex was to scooch away, but I didn't want her to take it the wrong way, so I forced myself to stay still. Still, Saijo-san was really was incredibly pretty. Seeing her up close like this, I found myself unable to stop staring. I knew I shouldn't, but I just couldn't tear my eyes away.
佐久間くんはお弁当なのね。
This casual question finally brought me back to my senses. Oh yeah, my Imoto made it for me.
妹さんが？珍しいわね。
Yeah, she is unusual. Very. See, the two of us actually live by ourselves. So we have to split the housework between us. She takes care of the cooking while I do the cleaning and stuff. Also, we're not really that rich either, so I can't really go buy lunch at the cafeteria every day. That's why she usually makes lunch for me.
そうなのね。変なことを聞いてしまってごめんなさい。
Nah, it's okay. Not exactly a secret or anything.
考えてみたら私佐久間くんのことほとんど知らないのよね。 一緒にゲームをするようになってから結構経つのに。
Well, I guess I could say the same. I don't know anything about your personal life, Saijo-san.
個人情報って言い方をされると思わず身構えてしまうわね。
Yeah, kinda does. Private life then.
大して変わっていないわ。
Yeah, it is. Well, okay, the point is neither of us know very much about each other. Although, I do remember everything you said about yourself while streaming as Karin-chan.
カリンも私の一部だし、そのまま私の言葉として受け取ってもらっても構わないけど。
Yeah, that's true. That's kinda difficult, to be honest. I mean, you're always so much more upbeat during your streams. It's hard to believe you're even the same person sometimes.
そういうこと、本人に向かって言わないでほしいわ。人権侵害だと思う。
Okay. I am? Sorry, I meant it as a compliment.
どこが？冷やかしているようにしか聞こえなかったんだけど。
Okay, we better roll it back a little bit. We're getting a little bit testy. I mean, you're the one who came up with the whole Karin-chan character in the first place, and you do an incredible job playing the part every time. I'm just saying, it's not something anyone could do unless they have your self-production skills and acting ability.
そうなのかな。
What a save. What a save, my guy. Saijo-san smiled shyly. Guess she wasn't as annoyed as she seemed after all.
実は私、昔は女優さんに憧れていたのよ。
Huh? Really?
もっとも演技のレッスンを受けたとか、どこかの事務所に所属していたとか、そういうことは全然ないんだけどね。 子供の頃の漠然とした憧れっていうだけで。
Well, it's definitely something I could see you doing, though. After all, you're already used to playing a character who's the complete opposite of you almost every day.
そうかな。
Totally. I have no idea what it takes to become an actress, but I don't see any harm in going for it.
そっか。そういうことを言ってくれる人もいるのね。
Yeah. Saijo-san mumbled to herself as though deeply moved.
ねえ、佐久間くん。ちょっと私の話を聞いてくれる？実は私、進路のことで悩んでいるの。
Is anyone? Huh? After graduating?
そう、進路。
She nodded somewhat awkwardly. Could these be the worries that the love note had hinted at? But hold on. Surely her future career path was something she should be discussing with a teacher and not a classmate? While I hesitated, Saijo-san seemed to make up her mind and continued speaking.
これ、本当は他の人にあんまり言っちゃダメなんだけど。先日、私がやっている SNS にダイレクトメッセージが届いたの。
She pulled out her phone, tapped at it a few times, and showed me the screen. Are you sure you want me to see this? Okay. With her consent, I peered down at her phone. On the screen was a direct message she received on a certain social networking site. The sender was an extremely famous entertainment agency that even I knew about. Mate. Is this? I looked up in surprise, to which Saijo-san nodded.
要約すると、うちに所属しないかっていうお誘いだった。
本当ですか?
この事務所は最近バーチャルアイドルのプロデュースも始めたみたいなんだけど、 私の配信を見て興味を持ってくれたみたいなの。私あんまりテレビって見ないから芸能事務所には詳しくなかったんだけど、
Yeah, I can imagine.
調べてみたらテレビに出ている芸能人もたくさん所属している大きなところみたいね。
It's true. They're famous enough that I've heard of them before. It's pretty incredible that you got an offer from an agency like them. Excited, I continued reading the rest of the direct message. It began with them praising Cotton-chan's streams, followed by several lengthy but enthusiastic paragraphs that I, as a fan, agreed with immensely. Well, they've got an eye for talent, that's for sure. I could tell whoever written the message is a pretty big fan of Cotton-chan as well. They seem like nice people, so what's the problem?
確かにたくさんいるバーチャルアイドルの中から私を見つけてくれて、こうしてお誘いをもらえたのはすごく幸運な話だと思うわ。この事務所に入ったらもっとカリンのことをたくさんの人に知ってもらえるだろうし、いろんな人を勇気づけられると思う。
Is she worried about what her parents are gonna think, I wonder?
でも
Saigyo-san stopped there and fell silent. Huh? どうしたの?
不安なの。私なんかがこんな立派な事務所に所属してちゃんとやれるのかって。
That was going to be my second guess.
私バーチャルアイドルの活動はあくまで趣味としてやっているから、あんまり大ごとになったら困るなって思っているし。
Really? You never wanted to do it as a job?
正直悩んでる。バーチャルアイドルとしてみんなと交流するのは楽しいけど、何十年も続けられる仕事だとは思っていないから。それに親は私に家業を継いでほしいって考えていると思うし。
Of course. なるほど。So that's why you're conflicted about what to do after graduation.
佐久間くんはどうすればいいと思う？
Well, honestly, there are just too many things I don't know. Can't really think of any good advice to give you.
そっか。
Still, the people at the entertainment agency are professionals, aren't they? Sure, they have tons of experience dealing with talents who are worried about their future, just like you are. So, why don't you try talking to them about all your concerns first? I think they'd be able to give you better advice than me, and you can always give it some more thought after you've heard what they have to say. Yep.
話を聞くだけ聞いて、やっぱり所属しないってなったら迷惑じゃないかな。
Nah, I don't think so. At the very least, the person who'd messaged you seemed like a really nice person. See, they even said they'd like you to come to their office in person to talk over the details before making your decision.
でも知らない人に一人で会いに行くのは怖いし、ちゃんと話せるかわからないし。
Well, they did also say you could come with a guardian if needed.
私バーチャルアイドルの活動は家族に内緒でやってるから相談できないのよね。
But what about if I came with you, huh? What if you use this opportunity to finally tell them about it?
絶対に無理。反対されるに決まってる。
They're that against... Wow. Saito-san stated flatly. Come to think of it, she'd mentioned at Fairy Tale the last time just how strict her family was. If her parents or the school were to catch wind of her online activities, it'd be over for her.
私子供の頃から体が弱くて入退院を繰り返していたの。このことは前にも話したわよね。あの頃はちょっとしたことですぐに熱が出ちゃったりして、両親はすごく心配して、そのせいで私過保護に育てられたの。
Sickness made them become helicopter parents. I see.
常に親の目が届くところにいなきゃいけなかったし、少しでも危険があることには挑戦させてもらえなかった。だからバーチャルアイドルになろうと決めた時も、両親には絶対にバレないようにしようと思った。バーチャルアイドルなんかになったら変な人から連絡が来るかもしれないでしょとか言われるのは目に見えているから。
You know, that is a valid excuse. But it's a risky take doing this kind of thing. I mean, that's just because they're worried about you, you know.
うん。それは分かっているの。
How much do you want to bet we're going to actually get to meet her parents and they're going to be a couple of snobs, just like, just like Rina's parents on... Gotta love having crying baby in the background. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh. Yeah, what if we get to meet her parents and then they turn out to be just like Rina's parents in Furulaba? I really hope it's not like that.
ずっと両親の言いつけを守ってきた結果、私は病気のこと以外で大きな挫折を経験したことは一度もないから。
Yeah, but what are they gonna do once you graduate? They're gonna have to let you go sooner or later.
家が裕福だったから何でも買ってもらえたし、それに関しては感謝している。でも両親は私の人生の障害を取り除きすぎた。おかげで私、リアルで他人とコミュニケーションを取った経験が他の人に比べて圧倒的に少ないの。家が裕福だと何でもできると思われがちだけど、そんなことは全然ない。
So they really haven't made your life easy at all.
親が許可したことしかやらせてもらえなくて、私はずっと我慢してきた。
Excuse me. I see. During her streams, Cotton-chan was always extremely sociable and interactive with her fans. And I was starting to understand why Saijo-san had such a hard time dealing with people in the real world. Plus, I rarely ever saw her talking to anyone at school. At any rate, now I knew why she had been acting so strange these past couple days. Now the question was, what could I do to help her? Very good question indeed. Actually, I got an idea. There you go. What if I went with you to meet with the agency? You don't want to tell your parents about the virtual idol stuff, but you still want someone to go with you to their office, right? So why don't I just go with you?
いいの？佐久間くんには全然関係ないことなのに。
That's not true at all. At the very least, I think of you as a friend. It's only natural for friends to help each other when in need.
佐久間くん。
There you go. There you go.
本当にありがとう。
A wide smile spread across her face as she said those words. A Smile was so beautiful I couldn't help but feel my heart begin to race. It said I thought of her as a friend, but this wasn't the sort of reaction one... Wait. Oh. This wasn't the sort of reaction one had toward their friends.
ただね、できればこのことは小泉さんやおきつねさんには。
I know. I won't tell Eru or Masura about this.
本当にありがとう。
Even though Eru's gonna be asking about it. Saijo-san gave me another exquisite smile. My chest filled with joy as I saw this look on her face, knowing that there was finally something I could do for her.
俺のキューピッドがポンコツすぎて怖い。